Testing. Let's see. Surely that's, yeah, I don't think that's that. Hey everybody, I am back and we are going to continue this build for the fictitious place called Cracked Up Cell Phone Repair. So let's go straight over to the stream, or rather the screen rather. So this is kind of where we left off from before. Let's get rid of that. Yeah, so yeah. So this is where we left off before. If you were here the last time, then you know that we had built the basic site. I did notice that there are, the menu could use with some more options, but we're going to do some fun things for this. We're going to advance this further. And again, this is a real time. We're building this in real time. I'm building this right in front of you so you can watch it. And this is the same thing as actually sitting next to me while I build it. There's no editing here. I may pause my audio, pause my video. I think from before, I prefer just not running the video because the way I'm sitting. So but yeah, so what we are doing today, what we're moving forward with is these services pages. We added more information buttons for these different services. So we need to actually do something with this. So we want to start with screen repair. We're going to start a new chat session. We're going to put it in planning mode on our, you know, so this is a different computer entirely than the one when I'm facing the camera. So the keyboards are different. They're both Logitech, but one's a mechanical and it's got some extra stuff, and the other is not mechanical and it's your cheap basic keyboard. So I get tripped up sometimes going back and forth. So on our services page, we have different services that have buttons that say more information. We need to build pages for each, link them via the more information button. Make sure each new page rich in content and that any we use are downloaded and accessed locally. So we have it in plan mode. Let's see if it picks up on the services that we have and whether or not it will build all of the pages at once, or if we'll need to build one page at a time. Because I think before we were focusing on one page at a time. This time we're going to attempt kind of a more macro approach where we are building multiple pages at once. But we are going to have to troubleshoot each page individually because then that's just too complicated. But I think it should be able to handle building all of these pages at once without any actual problem. No, I'm not going to look at that. It could be upsetting. Okay. All right, so it looks like we have 7 to-do items now. They're downloading Unsplash images for each of the service pages. It did capture the proper services. So these to-dos have to do with building because we are in plan mode. Once again, we're going to have to put it in build mode in order for it to build. So once again, we are in plan mode. It did pick up all of the services. It did create everything. There's about 7 to-do list items. We're still in plan mode. It looks like it has a few questions. It's so easy to ignore these questions, but you really don't want to do it. So first question is, should I include prices? Yeah, you know what? So what I do is, so you may not do free diagnostics at your shop. And I know has to do with building a website, and what I'm about to say has nothing to do with the website at all. But if you are doing repairs, you always charge for diagnostics, and those should always be non-refundable. And you should also be rolling those into the cost of the repair, because that's going to be your biggest, one of your biggest marketing strategies is for $35 or whatever your diagnostic fee is. You can find out what's wrong. And if you don't want us to fix it, then you pay $35. If you do want us to fix it, we just roll that into the cost of the repair. And anyway, so number 2, FAQ content. Frequently asked questions. Should I include realistic FAQ content? Let's, yeah, you know what? Let's. So we're just going to feed it some things into it. Your shop probably does it differently, probably offers different time windows. Um, yes. Yeah. Uh, so let's feed it that. We're going to keep it in plan mode. We're just going to make sure that there is no further uh, confusion on its side of what we want it to do. So that's what we're waiting on now. It's processing things. It is a new chat window, so it did kind of sort of forget what it did before to get the images. So that's why we're watching it kind of sort of reinvent the wheel. It doesn't have a choice, but it's okay. Oh yeah, it's just more steps. All right, sorry about that. Um, so it looks like it finished. It built a plan. Now that we have a plan, we will proceed. And so it's going to go through and do all of the things. There's Nexum router talking about itself again. I'm Nexum router by diagram. You know, it's one letter off from an old drug, Nexium. Anybody remember that one? But yeah, we are processing all of this stuff now. And once that finishes, we'll go to the next step. So sometimes when it's downloading images or trying to grab things, other assets, there's errors, and that not everything. It's because not everything is easily accessible to automated tools because they're not doing what we do. Like when we go look at pictures, we can click around on a browser, and some AIs can fire up and open up browsers, but this one doesn't. So it's using different ways of accessing these pages that are meant to be just for automated tools, and it's not having the best of luck, but but it's not having the worst of luck either because it looks like it's getting them. So I'll carry on.
Hey guys, it's Palm Beach Pete. Hey guys, it's Palm Beach Pete. Did you say you knew Epstein or met him briefly? I didn't know him, but he was at a party that I attended, and they twisted it and turned it around. So he's fake news media. Yeah. So what would happen if we compared the ears of Epstein and Palm Beach Pete, right? Oh, you just did.
So I just want to stop for a minute and while this goes, I know this has been taking forever. I know I promised it was a live build, so I'm not going to stop it, but sometimes this is what happens. It takes it a while to build. This is the side of AI and vibe coding that people don't like to admit happens. And maybe not all tools do this, but it does seem like that's what this one does, because it looks like it's stuck. Because it does happen. We're going to force it to continue. But while we were waiting, um, just a little shout out security. Always make sure your stuff's secure because somebody decided to try and order like 10 copies of Minecraft through my Walmart account. So I don't know how that happened. But I saw a transaction, a little alert on my phone while we were waiting that said $292. I didn't buy anything for $292, but it looks like somebody wanted to get Minecraft Java Bedrock Edition. So that order was canceled in real time because I caught it a minute after it happened. I know that it's real tempting to turn your notifications off on your phone, but it's also really important to always keep an eye on it. Because if that would have happened at night, that would have been different. I changed the email address on the account, but I don't know what else could be done or should be done, but I'll be looking into that later. But anyway, back to the site design. I restarted the process of building the site. So it's just going to sit there. It's going to run. It's got to finish. This is, yeah. Just because somebody goes in and types something in doesn't mean that we're going to have immediate results, right? Like vibe coding is not just typing something in and hitting enter, and by the time you have time to blow your nose or get a drink of water, it's done. No. And I hope by now you see from the last video that it does take a little bit of strategizing and some know-how to be able to really get the most out of it. And there's people who might have different design habits and stuff, and they might get something better than what I've built. I mean, it just depends on what your goals are, what it is that you want, but it's not a bad thing. So that's going to continue. I'll keep checking in, and once it's done, I'll be right here. So something worth paying attention to here is it's writing these different files, but it's not updating it in the to-do list. So I have no idea why, but it's supposedly a battery replacement, and there it is. So it built the site, it took all of the, and so what I think it was struggling with is getting the logos there. Couple things you should not do unless you're selling OEM batteries. They are not OEM quality. Of course, this is AI content, so that's you know, this is all placeholder stuff. If this was a real website that I was building for clients, I would be rewriting a bunch of this to be in line with what I know to be true for aftermarket parts and what I know of the cell phone industry. So, and it's the same thing with anything and everything else. But yeah, there we go. 7 of 8 to-dos completed. Okay, so now it's supposedly fixing the more information buttons to link. Let's see if let's look. Yeah, these are good though. They're like these pages are good, other than the fact that it doesn't get the logos. Software repair, that looks good. I don't know why it did a microscope, but in the world of marketing, technical correctness isn't always important, so we're going to leave that alone. Water damage. We're going to go through these again. I'm just doing the quick glance over. That's like a cracked screen. What did it use for screen repair? Well, that's also a cracked screen. So we know on screen repair, we have brand logos. On battery replacement, yeah, so let's update this. All pages. See, it showed, yeah, it did say that we had errors on the downloads for the logos, but we're going to make it try again. The more you tell the AI that it needs to do something, the more it gathers how important it is. So all of these pages is kind of vague. It could put them on all of the pages or just on the service pages. And to be honest with you, either would be correct. As long as we have the brands and the logos, the more that's there, the better. So once this finishes adding the logos to every page, once it finishes, uh, because it was supposed to put those on on the service pages. It didn't get it on all the service pages. It didn't, and it also failed to download the logos, which it told us that. So it's trying again. So it looks like on the second time around, it was able to get the images, and it's got the images downloaded. It's updating everything now. So it does seem to have understood that it wanted the service pages to have the brand logos. Brand logo. We're gonna add them to the home page because that we need to be able to show people what brands we work on. That helps a lot. People like to see that so they know that, you know, who works on their iPhone, who works on their Samsung, who works on their Google Pixel, those are important things in terms of marketing because people are going to be looking for iPhone repair. They're going to be looking for Samsung Galaxy repair or Google Pixel repair. And if these keywords aren't present on your site, and so that's going to be what we work on next is the SEO and AEO side of things because we need to beef this thing up so that way if we did submit this to a search engine as a real site that it would be able to pick up on. And we want the on-page SEO to be as refined as possible. It used to be a thing in older versions of Google where keyword density was a thing. And to be honest with you, it's not really a thing anymore because all that did was invited people to do what they called keyword stuffing, where you'd have a page like this, but then all of a sudden you might have like blocks of text, or they would hide it within certain elements so you would never see, but you can mark elements in CSS as not visible. And while the human eye would never see it, the search crawler would. All right, so it added a brands we service to the host page, and supposedly we've got brands on every one of these service pages. And it doesn't look like it followed that instruction very well. So let's try it here. Okay, it did some things wrong. Those are models, so not okay. So you made a series of mistakes. Not sure that. All right, so messed up logos. It didn't have, yeah, so we are going to fix all this. And again, whole point of vibe coding and writing things with, building things with AI is just being able to use natural language. So yeah, we went from writing code to now we can just tell an AI to write code for us, and we just talk to it like we're talking to a human. Like that's exactly what I would write to a human if they gave me what slop this gave me. And it saw the issues. It really, yeah. So you've got to train it. You got to work with it. You gotta learn its weaknesses. The more you talk to a robot, the easier it gets. right, so that finished. So we're going to see if it got it right this time. There we go. What the hell is that? That's not the Apple logo. Let's look over here to see if it added it to the homepage correctly. Yep, now there we go. I don't know if that's you know what? We're gonna have to tweak this because I don't think those are the, yeah, we didn't use the right logos. Yeah, what was that other one that made OnePlus? No, OnePlus, Huawei, and Samsung. Google and Motorola. Yeah, so that's gonna work. So yeah, that's one of the most fun things about vibe coding is realizing that it doesn't understand what you want. You have to tell it, and even so, sometimes it learns what you want after multiple prompts. Like if you've noticed, it's taken a few prompts now to even start to get the logos in the right direction that we want. But we're gonna have to keep trying until it gets it completely right. It looks like it just, but while that's working, let's look at this. I don't know what that is. I mean, it looks disgusting, whatever it is. Then there's this and these three logos. It just generated it. Like it got the right colors, I think, but it got the right colors. And then it just, yeah. And then the Google and you could barely read Motorola and Google. Like that one I got to stare at. This one you can see only because Google's got multiple colors. But this was kind of ridiculous. feel like I already have that. I think I already have get lead. What's the what I need to look at after this fucking video is built? Yeah, I'm really sorry about this, guys. This video is going needlessly long. It feels like there's not a lot to say. Um, a lot of it now we're getting deeper into the site. We're getting longer, more specific tasks, and it's not so easy for it to build it. For the heck of it, let's do a status check. So that's not Samsung's logo. At least it better effing not be. I don't know. Okay. But yeah, we made the logos bigger. It's better than it was, but we can't leave this like this. This is ridiculous because we know that, like, if we go to Samsung's site and we get their logo, that was weird. So, so we're gonna just do this. There, it looks like it's trying to grab like an older version of their logo, and then we'll do this. So yeah, we're gonna just give it the actual logo URLs, just like we did before in the past with helping things along by just feeding it what it was supposed to have. We can close these tabs now. Okay, yeah, so that was trying to draw or grab an older version. I don't know what that is. I know what it's pretending to be because Samsung's logo used to be like in a blue circle thingy and with Samsung in the middle, but that hasn't been its logo for a while, I don't think. Alrighty, so it says it finished it, so let's refresh and see what we got. Yes. Okay. All right. I'll take that as a win. I'll take that. I'll take that. I'll take that. I think the logos are good. So let's see what we have on each page. So the services page, I think, should have it. So screen repair shows that. And again, if you had actual prices, we would be going in and telling them then that's what it is. So we click here on we got there. Yep. 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 And we're just looking over right now for the site, the general design things. And as it looks like this should be good, like at least from a design perspective. At this point in time, if this was a real site, we'd be going through looking to change wordings on things. Maybe there's like legal reasons for changing texts or marketing or business reasons. We would definitely be changing pricing because the thing just went way too low on the prices. So, but because we're just building the site live, we're going to leave it alone. We still have the telephone thing and there's still stuff that goes straight to contact us. So let's now work on AEO and SEO. We'll leave it on build. No, we'll put it on plan. And so now we need to work on so we need to build a sitemap.xml. All right. So we need to build a sitemap. We need to build robots.txt. We need to build LLMs.txt. And we also need to optimize the site for SEO and AEO. Give me your recommendations. This is just an easy way to get around having to plan and think. So if you know there's certain things you want to do, then you feed the info to them. All right. Yeah, we're just going to allow always. Yeah, so at this point in time, the site itself is visually done. And now we're just adding some optimizations and some tweaks to it. So, yeah, yes, the full structured data. Yep. Use a placeholder as is. That would have been a chance to give it the correct address. Yep, we're going to do that. So, and a lot of these, and so any of the SEO and AEO things we're doing for this site are completely pointless because we're not actually publishing this. We're not actually listing it. It's not a real business. So it gave a good plan. We're not going to read through it, but I saw enough. Proceed. So now we just wait for it to. This should go a little quicker, I think, but those are famous last words. I have a small wee wee. No, I'm very busy. I got a storage unit. Mhm. right, so that's finished. Those aren't going to be visible changes. So now that we have that built, we can go and upload the site now. Let's refresh. Control A. We don't want graphics. And now we're going to upload all of this. And so whenever that finishes, then the site that we just built, you will be able to view and see for yourself at crackedup.hostedinprivate.com. So, but that's going to be the end of this video, and we'll do some more videos, maybe today, maybe tomorrow, maybe anytime next week. But there's only a few more things that I kind of want to do with it. I want to go through and show you how to submit the site to Google, and I do want to explore getting it linked with the POS system. I think there's a free one or one that has a free tier that I can show you with as an example. But anyway, until next time, yeah. Yeah, I think that's going to be it for now. We are going to do some more eventually, hopefully soon, hopefully today. But I don't know, I get ADD like a motherfucker.